Hi, Stephen here. I'd like to make a video speaking about like challenging stigmas and about the potential I see for people with autism spectrum disorder. Yeah, so like there's a lot of stigmas in the world, which is why I'm such a sad and angry person. People stigmatise me for having a history of mental illnesses, a disability, autism spectrum disorder, which I was born and diagnosed with, and for being financially poor. So there's lots of different stigmas against various people, which is totally disgusting. Like transgender people face stigma, males and female people face stigma, um, black people face stigma, mentally ill people, people with disability, and financially poor people face stigma. A lot of people face stigmas, and it's really, really disgusting. People should be challenging stigmas, not supporting them. And yes, I'm born and diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and yeah, I see huge potential for people, and including people with autism spectrum disorder. People with autism spectrum disorder, I'm going to be very vague when I talk about things so I don't identify things about myself or other people. But so being very vague, but people with autism spectrum disorder have huge potential, like a lot more potential than a lot of the public think we do. Like in some cases, people with autism who can't talk, in some cases, the reason why they can't talk in some cases is because the public limit their progress, like the public decide that this individual with autism spectrum disorder cannot talk, we can't help them, which prevents the person with autism spectrum disorder from learning to talk or speak. Um, like I speak much more fluently than a lot of adults, and I was very late to start talking. Like I heard that kids like start learning to talk at 2 or 3 years of age, where I started learning to talk at 5 years of age, and now I speak more fluently than a lot of adults do. And I've got autism spectrum disorder, born and diagnosed, and like I don't expect people to understand me. I expect people to not judge me, and like if society would like help people like with autism spectrum disorder instead of judge people with autism spectrum disorder, then people with autism spectrum disorder would do a lot better than they do. But like everyone with autism spectrum disorder or autism is unique. Like there's a lot of people who have autism that I disagree with, like who have very different points of view to me, who have very different personality to me. Like just because I've got autism doesn't mean anything. It just means that I think differently because like I still think according to my own values and perspectives, but like it does shape the way I think a bit, or quite a lot actually. But like people with autism all think differently to one another, and some people with autism are good people, and some people with autism are bad people. Just because we have autism doesn't mean that we're good or bad. Doesn't mean that we're well behaved or poorly behaved. It depends on the individual with autism. And people with autism can do so much more than what the public believe we can do. So much more. If the public would stop being so judgmental in as a generalisation, people with autism would achieve a lot more. Like instead of limiting my progress, the public should be asking me, how can we best support you? What would you like help with? Like, instead of telling me what's right for me, instead of telling me these are your strengths and weaknesses, they don't ask me how does autism impact me. They tell me how it impacts me. And that's why I get so angry with a lot of people, because they're telling me what works for me instead of asking me what works for me. And they judge me without trying to be considerate of me. And it's just disgusting, it is. There are people who consider me, there are people who are respectful among the people who make things hard. But people with autism can do so much more if they're given help instead of being judged and criticized unfairly. And um yeah, people with autism have so much more potential. Like anyone without autism, people have to learn how to behave, they have to learn through getting older, they have to learn through being taught. It's the same with people with autism. Um, Even though people with autism think differently, depending on the person, they're going to have different points of view. I think differently to people with autism, they think differently to me because we're still people, regardless of the condition. And it bothers me when people say, so and so is autistic. I'm not autistic. I have autism. I'm not autistic. No one is autistic. Some people have autism, some people don't. No one is autistic. I don't understand why even people with autism say they're autistic or so and so is autistic. No one's autistic, as no one is their condition. They have the condition autism in some cases, and not everyone has autism. No, some people have enough diagnostic criteria to be diagnosed with autism professionally, and other people don't have enough diagnostic criteria that meets the diagnostic statistical manual to be diagnosed with autism. Like, you have to meet diagnostic criteria. Yes, people have a bit of autism, but they're not, they don't have autism because they don't have it strongly enough. They don't meet the diagnostic criteria to have autism. So not everyone has autism. Only some people do. And like like part of my difficulty communicating with people and socializing with people is society in general. Again, it's very general because some people are patient and some people are not. But people being less than patient, not willing to explain things, not willing to slow down and give me time to process what's been said and done. And then, like, people just say, I don't have communication or social difficulty, or they go the other way and say, I'm really bad at it. When in some ways I'm great at socializing and communicating, other ways I'm below average. But instead of helping me, people are judging me as either good or bad at it, and not helping me improve at it. Depending on the person, some people do help me by explaining things repeatedly, and some people don't. But I speak a lot more fluently through hard work, through increasing my vocabulary, through practicing words, through practicing sentences, through reflection. I work really hard to improve my understanding of the world and my vocabulary. So, I'm determined to keep improving. I'm very driven for progress, for improvement, and like anyone who had have known me in the past would be absolutely astounded at how far I've come. Because I'm so determined, I've really achieved enormous things as a person, and Yeah, so people who say that people with autism won't get anywhere in life, like it's a horrible stigma that they're implementing, and it's very harmful and toxic. Or don't doubt people with autism, or but also understand that people with autism need some help in certain areas. Like listen, give people with autism a voice. Give us a voice. Don't speak over us. Don't speak over us. Give us a voice, and like be respectful, and like there's gonna be people with autism who disagree with me, but like I think the way I do, and I disagree with other people with autism. I disagree with people without autism because I'm an individual who has autism. I don't agree with people without autism or people with autism. I think my own way, and challenge all negative stigmas, challenge discrimination, challenge it. Don't put up with it. Don't tolerate it. Make the world a better place. It's good to care. Make the world a good place, and do your part to make the world better. Um, Thank you for listening. Bye.